Well, the political fight over renewing the payroll tax cuts appears to have hurt Republicans, at least some in Congress. Political analysts say it has been a clear win for the president. And a recent ABC News poll shows a jump in the president's approval ratings over the past several weeks. Of course, it comes at the start of a key election year. Is it sustainable? Let's bring in our political analyst, James Kotecki. He's with the Cypress Group, a nonpartisan public policy think tank in Washington. His political commentaries have been featured in The Economist, The Washington Post, The Los Angeles Times, as well as U.S. News and World Report. Wow. James, good to have you with us. You know, in politics, there are always
Greg.
Winners and losers. The consensus seems to be President and Dems came out on top of this. Fair assessment?
Yeah, and I think you have to look at this as one of the biggest losers being Speaker Boehner. I mean, it's a very tough day to be Speaker of the House when the only way that you can get your members to do what you want them to do is when they're all out of town. I mean, a lot of congressional Republicans kind of said they would have loved to have protested this on the floor, but they just couldn't get back to Washington in time. And if you're relying on logistics to pass bills like this, it's a tough day to be Speaker.
You know, I interviewed Congressman Jeff Landry, who's, you know, one of the freshman conservatives, a Tea Party caucus member, and you know, he's opposed to this whole thing, but guess what? When I interviewed him via satellite, he was at home in, you know, Louisiana. He said, well, I couldn't get back in time, to which I said, you know, if you've been in there longer than being a freshman, you might have known this would happen. Is Politico right when they wrote today that a lot of these guys are really naive politically?
I think a lot of these guys really did make a change from politics as usual, and that a lot of Tea Party freshmen campaigned on the idea that we're going to disregard politics and we're always going to stick to our convictions. And you've seen them try to do that time and time again, and this is another case where establishment Republicans have kind of come over top of them. They say, look, we're trying to change Washington, we're trying to change politics as usual. They're just not able to do that. So it's ironic, actually, because the reason that many of them got elected was because they hated politics, and the fact that they're not playing politics now may be a reason some of them get sent home in 2012.
Yeah, you know what? Democrats wanted this millionaire's tax. They didn't get it. Republicans wanted the Keystone provision. They got that in a way.
Yeah.
Didn't Republicans actually get more than Democrats out of this thing?
Yeah, and you know, President Obama is getting a lot of credit for, you know, not being willing to negotiate with House Republicans. But people seem to be forgetting that he actually did negotiate, or he did accept the Keystone XL pipeline provision in the bill that he said he would not accept if it was shown to him. So obviously he's taking some things and trying to playing a bigger political game with that. And I think that was very smart of him. Yeah, both sides are giving and taking, and that's the nature of the process. Unfortunately, Tea Party Republicans seem to come out the loser in this one.
Maybe another loser are homeowners all over America, and here's why. The $33 billion price tag for this is going to be paid for new fees and or taxes on loans by borrowers for FHA, Freddie, and Fannie. And put up on the screen if we can. Here it is. For a $200,000 loan, you're going to be paying as a borrower $180 more per year, or $1,800 total for 10 years. And that goes up to $3,600 on a $400,000 loan. Are the real losers here homeowners?
Yeah, in a sense, perhaps they are. I mean, it's probably wise of people crafting this bill to try and, you know, go after homeowners rather than having the broader payroll tax cut. Obviously, this isn't something that either side really wanted to talk about as they were having this debate, but that's been another huge challenge and a huge trend in this Congress. They've always tried to pay for everything that they do, and they have to pay for it somehow. Yeah. We're going to see this debate come up again in another 2 months. This entire year, 2011, has been about figuring out how do we pay for the things we want to do. That has been why all these debates have been so rancorous, and it's just going to continue into 2012.
All right, real quickly, James, the president was criticized. The last 3 confrontations with Congress, he allegedly caved in. Democrats were grumbling that he's the compromiser in chief. Has he managed to reverse that?
I think he has got his mojo back a little bit, but remember, we have another 10 months to go until the presidential election. It's tempting to spin this last couple weeks as a big win for the president going into the election, but we have a lot more campaign left to go, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
James Kotecki, hope you'll be with us for it as we watch it. Thanks, you very much.
Happy Festivus.
Yeah, for the rest of us. Thank you.
Yes.
Coming up next, a place where celebrating Christmas could get you killed. Plus, the uprising in Syria has already cost thousands of lives, and now a new round of violence.